obesity, black jewelry. I know I stand out, I don't need a trifle. I jack the limelight if you don't think ahead quick. I tell them catch me if you can, I'm some gingerbread. Oh, I never ride solo. It's me and my chick looking like slow-mo.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Vince down in Tampa. I got Andrea Marcellus on today. We're going to talk about fitness, people being over 50, and everybody's tracking right now my journey to go into do a bodybuilding competition when I turn 60 after April. So it's been an ongoing struggle with me because I've had to tear muscle and rebuild it. And trust me, I'm having some painful days. But Andrea, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let me go. My heart bleeds out to everybody out in California. I got family out there. You're living out there and everything that's happening. You know, everybody just keep everybody out there in their prayers, okay? So
100%.
There you go. Andrea, you started in fitness, and I went through your website. You got some really great content, and you've now moved some stuff over on IG, TikTok, and you know, on YouTube, on different platforms that you're working. So what's your background? Originally, where are you from? And then, like, what's your background?
Well, I'm from Pennington, New Jersey, and I went to NYU, and I wasn't supposed to be doing any of this. I was supposed to be a star. And I had an accident when I was in college, and I started going to these boutique fitness studios around New York City to just get strong and feel strong again. And somewhere in there, it occurred to me, what a great job, and I can do this. And I had a background in dance from when I was young, but I'm a terrible dancer. It's crazy. That ended early in my life, but I'm coordinated. So I became a fitness instructor when I was in college, and I never expected just what was an honest passion and a need just to feel strong and in charge after this accident had become, really what I do and my gift.
All right. And so as you I looked at your platform, you have an app, you're an author, you've done a lot of things, and you really are touching on key points on people over 50 now. So here's the thing is the statistics are there, and I just pop them up real quick. And the statistics show that, America's overweight from an obese standpoint, number one. And this is a little dated. I got it from Nightly News. It's a little dated, but still a little bit more accurate. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
It's so funny. We're over 50. I'm going to read this. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So the question is, are your challenges that you're looking at, you're seeing more common health issues with people over 50, high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, and all these things with arthritis. What are you kind of like your wellness program? What are you kind of touching on as you go through your wellness program with people? Because you see these trends, and I'm gonna tell you, food's a hard thing to give up when it's got saturated with good carbs.
Well, I think that right there is the number one thing. You don't have to give up anything. And it's about honestly changing people's preferences. And it's by generating energy and joy in everything we do with people. Weight loss and well-being are so much easier than people think. Now, first of all, you're extraordinarily disciplined, from your background. And that speaks to you and works for you, and you're able to self-motivate, and you're very mission driven. You've grown up to be mission driven, right? So yes, I take a regular average person, and I teach them what it is to have a very clear mission. And then you don't have to worry about motivation when you're mission driven. So it's why. It's starting with the why do you need your cholesterol down, your blood pressure down, not just to be healthy. What do you want to do with yourself? What do you want to do? The biggest problem is that people are living on a hamster wheel of obligations and responsibilities. Wow. And so their health suffers because what they're doing is it's whack-a-mole with the things coming at them in life. They got their work responsibilities, their family, blah, blah, blah. By the end of the day, they're just collapse. And so it's about, first of all, creating purpose in life that lights you up like a kid on Saturday morning running out the door. You don't know what the day is going to bring, but it's about getting some of that back in our life, after we hit our 40s and 50s and we get off the hamster wheel, right? So, and then secondly, it's about making it easy, and eliminating the idea of sacrifice. And if you can do those things, then you're golden.
Right. But in our society right now, people over 50, and I go to the VA, so I'll sit there and I'll see them grab the grocery bag
Yeah.
of medication, or I see it even at Publix or CVS when I go there. We are so a self-medicated society, and we want a quick fix of convenience.
Yeah.
Since the 70s, we've converted from the hard working ethic of getting out doing things to let me find the easiest and most simple way. So the question is, when sadly, in Americans over 50, they don't want to get started on that until they go to the doctor, and the doctor says, well, yeah, you got 6 months to live, or you got these health issues, and if you don't fix them now, why don't you fix them? So do you see a trend of like aging people coming to you because they've been to the doctor and they realize they got to wean themselves off prescription drugs, or they got to wean themselves off of certain bad habits?
Yeah, for sure. There's a bunch of people like that. But actually, people are pretty well educated on what to do, or they see it coming at them on social media all the time. They just don't know where to start, and there's too
Gotcha.
much information. So, more than anything, and the other thing is that they're so low on time and energy. It's always an issue of time and energy more than anything, right? And they
Yes.
feel low on those two precious personal resources. And if you can help them see how this doesn't have to take a lot of time and it will generate a bunch of energy, and they feel different like immediately within days, and they don't feel like they sacrificed anything, then there's buy-in, and you just start really slow. But yeah, it is quick fix culture. So, and it's, what can I get in a bag or a box as opposed to from nature to eat. And,
Well,
so that's my specialty, is everything is fast, 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 fast. But I'm a super impatient person, so this comes from me naturally. Like, I don't have a lot of time either. So the way I do things, or the way I think about things, really fits with people who are kind of like, all right, I got to get it in gear, but I don't see a lot of extra room to do that.
All right. So you work with a lot of women, and this is one thing I've even noticed with my spouse and other spouses within my community, is they were like normal, like to me, normal personalities, but when they hit like 50, menopause and all this, they struggle with the aging. Why is it so like, I used to be this, or I was this, and
Yeah.
it's in a mindset. But I think women struggle more with it than men do, and I think some of it has to do with social media. They look on social media and they see all these women 50 years old looking great, but they're dropping 100K to stay looking great, or they're looking at the housewives who are paid to be on there to go get some
Yeah, it
kind of
feels that way.
cosmetic. Yeah. So why are so many people? Because I look at my mom's generation, and none of them struggled with aging. They got to their age, maybe one person, but overall, my mom's generation, as my mom said, they age gracefully. So why is this generation
Yeah,
having such a hard time with it?
I think the bar moves, or what we think of as the bar moves, but I think there's a big backlash on that. I think, there's a lot of people like me, and it's coming out. First of all, there's no science about perimenopause or menopause. So you think those generations age gracefully. They went through stuff. They went through it
Right.
quietly and privately. And also, I think, with social media hitting people in the face every day with these images, which are,
Right.
photoshopped or doctored, or, whatever it is, like, I think that's really unfair. I try really hard to like put my wrinkles out there a little bit.
I
To
agree.
keep it real, you know what I mean? But it's this. I mean, I think the scrutiny, just like with teenage girls I work with, there's too much compare. There's too much
Right.
opportunity to compare now,
Right.
with this coming at you all the time that didn't exist. So it lights up this part of your brain called the amygdala, your fear and anxiety center. And with perimenopausal and menopausal women, first of all, for anybody, having that activated all the time, which is what social media does, creates chronic stress in the body, which is not
Wow.
good for any of us. However, because that amygdala shoots out adrenaline and cortisol to protect you. And adrenaline feeds soothing behaviors, munch, 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 munch.
Much, much.
And then, cortisol is slowing your metabolism. Now, if you're perimenopausal or menopausal, you already have hormonal fluctuations going on. So that's not great to have elevated baseline cortisol level from an anxiety
No.
perspective when it was already happening, just as you shift in life. But the good news is that none of this has to happen. If we get control of here first, if our mind, we heal adrenal fatigue, that is the thing that's leading to this. We stop that cycle of so much adrenaline and cortisol coming out, this stress level. It's
Stress
really
levels.
coming from stress level more than anything. And then
Yeah.
we can deal with the fluctuations of estrogen and progesterone. But quite frankly, lifestyle factors, simple things like exercising every day, and it doesn't have to be a lot. Eating food strategically, like you can eat carbohydrates, eat them at dinner. Like start your day with protein and good fat and fruits and vegetables or things like
Right.
that, and egg and some vegetables. You'll see it all changes. Like it's simple strategies. It doesn't have to be a big deal. It's just that one shift at a time. But that's why the women, particularly in that age group, they were already susceptible to hormonal fluctuations. You add the stress hormones coming on top of it, and it can be a perfect storm.
But so I kind of travel Europe a lot because my oldest daughter lives there, and then I still got one. So I got two things I've seen. I've seen the one
Yeah.
thing is that when I'm in Europe, what I like is that because they don't have so many additives, I can actually eat the pizza,
Yes.
enjoy it, and then I can get out and walk, even if it's cold. And so the thing I think we struggle with is when you want to go out and eat and you just don't know what the ratio of food is, what the sugars in the food or whatever, even though it tastes great. How do you kind of marshal that when you train people, work with their wellness to make sure that because I realize now over 50, a lot of people have gut health issues and
Yeah.
they don't know that. I mean, they literally, it doesn't ring a bell until now, but more and more on social media, I'm seeing more and more influencers talk about gut health.
Oh, it's a huge thing. So there are so many additives in American foods that are not allowed. The exact same product in the US versus in Europe, completely different ingredient profile. They're
Wow.
not allowed to poison people in Europe, and here they are. Like that's just flat out honestly
Call it
what's
what it is. Let's
happening.
call it what it
It's
is.
just
Right.
it's cheap lab created ingredients for flavor, for texture, for whatever, and they're just not allowed to do it in Europe. And the grain and just what we spray on the grain so we can mass
Ah,
produce, it's not allowed in Europe. So that's its own kettle of fish. But what's happening is that it disrupts your endocrine system. That's all your hormones, and it disrupts your gut microbiome. And if the gut microbiome is out of balance, yes, we will get weight gain. We will also get a brain that's not firing on all cylinders. It all works together. And so,
yeah.
when you watch the country be in basically a bad mood, part of it's our food. But
Yeah.
it's not like I don't like to create food fear in people. I like to talk about what they can do. You know what I mean? And it's
Right.
like keeping it simple. And my biggest recommendation to people is, and when I start with clients, we take the meals they don't share with others. That because you can be in charge of those easier than the ones like you're
Right.
out at a restaurant with everybody, and it's deeply stress relieving to participate with people over food, and we have our family foods and whatever, like eat the pasta, it's going to be all right. But in the meals you don't share with
Process.
others, like if you optimize those, if you make those as nutritious as one step away from a tree as possible, if you're making better choices in those. And here's the thing, you come up with just a few ideas, 2 breakfasts you rotate, 2 lunches, a few snacks, and get going, then, you'll be off and running. It's that people try to do too many things. They try to, follow this. They become an amateur chef trying to follow these meal plans that are like, every day you're having something different. No, don't do that. Figure out what works best for your body. And that's easy for you to make or get. That's as natural as possible on those meals, and then you don't worry about dinner, and it all happens and the gut microbiome comes into balance. I mean, there's a lot to it, but yeah, like it just start with breakfast and clean up your lunch and make it stuff you actually look forward to eating.
Oh, you hit the key point about the meal prep, and I'll laugh about it because you just explained my whole situation. So I have my meal prep for the competition for June, right? So
Yeah.
I'm looking at that the guy I work out with, he's a professional bodybuilder, but his mom preps all his meals, right? So I come in there and I got grilled out chicken and I'm getting it set, and I'm like, man, I spent a whole Saturday meal prepping for the whole week, right? So I got it all, ironed out. But I did realize, okay, some days I said I'm still gonna get my protein in, but I'll change it up a little bit and get different things or add some different flavors. And I'm going 0 carbs right now. But what I looked at is the average person. I'm retired, so I'm at home. I got a little bit more time. But the average person who works is trying to get to an elite fitness level. God help them. I mean, God bless them. I don't know how they can get there because you literally have to put a lot of time into watching what you consume.
Yeah. And so you bring up a couple of really great points. One is elite fitness level. You're in a competition. You are doing something, again, back to that mission. You have a very, very, very solid mission guiding you forward. We all have the time. That's the truth. It's about, creating the time. It's what we really want to do. I'm dealing with people who are not, they don't have a competition or whatever. They're trying to be healthy, and I do want them to have reasons for that. But that's why my meals that I make with people, and when I suggest you find someone to work with, they take minutes, seconds, things that are easy. And I don't meal prep ever. And I've been in fitness for 32 years. Because I'm a CEO running a company. I have 2 businesses, and I have a lot of clients I care very much about. I'm spending my time on them, not on my meal prep. But but that's also what I'm walking my walk. And if I am, say, getting ready for a video shoots or something, and I have to, then I'll have to be more regimented for that time for some reason, but then again, it's driven by purpose. I'm really dealing with people who are just living that regular life, not retired, or even retirees that just don't know how to kind of fit this in the schedule they've created for themselves. Whatever it is, people think their day is full.
All right. So now the next question, and I'm glad you kind of went there about how you train, work with people and everything, and mindset. Is right now today there's a lot of influencers online on wellness, and there's a gambit of it. I see it all the time, and I actually sit down, just like I found you. I sit down and I go through their platforms, and I go check their videos, and I go check. So because credibility matters, right? So you have to go in. So what's your kind of advice do you give some people when they bring it up? Because you're a fitness influencer to a large degree once you got on Instagram or YouTube. So how do you help people try to make understand that all influencers online are really certified people? Yeah. So
and it's not even, I think it speaks for itself. It's like, I have I think 300,000 people on TikTok now, and
welcome back.
Welcome back. It's I think it's this. I've been doing this a long time. People can look that up and find out, or people ask and I tell them, I'll tell you in the comments, but it's also, do I make sense to you? And does it seem doable? Just because somebody has a certification, and they might, it doesn't mean it's been tested in the real world. I mean, and this is even studies I follow and stuff like that. Part of the reason I came up with the way I work, where we measure food in hands, is a communication tool between me and my client, because you have your hands with you at a restaurant. You do not have a food scale or calorie counting, and it's no fun. I don't want anybody sitting there at a party in the back of their mind adding up calories of, I ate this today, and oh my God, you are not present in your life. You're missing it. You're missing it. I don't want people to miss their life. So I created a method with my clients forever ago. This is when I was personal training, before I was doing what I was doing now, to be able to know, because I know this is 52 grams of protein in chicken. I know what you're getting. I'll know that for you. And when we come up with food concepts that you kind of know with your hands on a plate, looking at it, that's when you're home free in life. So that's how I work with my clients. I know this is 2 servings of vegetables according to the American Heart Association when you put it on a plate. I know what it's a way I have, but there's more to it than that. But so I've come up with a simple learning curve. That's my way. My point is, maybe you're somebody who loves counting macros. Maybe you're somebody who loves counting calories somehow. Find somebody who is credible, who has been doing this a while. And I would say, just like in business or anything else, right? When you want to know how to do something, you find someone who has done it either personally or
Mhm.
with people just like you walking your walk, so you know they can do it. That's what I think. You've got to look for that synergy. And yeah, and I think the credibility sort of becomes obvious based on what they're saying. You know what I mean? And
Oh yeah.
hopefully, if it resonates with you,
All
you can
right,
lift
guys.
people up.
So guys, Andrea, she has a lot of tools and a killer website. So I'm gonna throw it up right now, and she kind of can walk you through it. And you have an app on there, app creator. You have a wellness pioneer and you're in. Yes, you're a fitness expert. Now, can you tell us a little bit about the app you have? Because actually looked at it on YouTube and I actually looked at it online. So I'll let you go ahead and explain that.
Yeah, the app is awesome. The app truly, so many people get to their goals with just this app. And now I do have coaching programs and things like that to help people, but the app is called And Life. And it's amazing. It's literally all of my strategies are in that app, and it will help you find these meals that are super easy to make or get, that are, one step away from the tree. And my whole goal is for people to be able to enjoy their social life. Like, it's like finding out what you can get away with so you can really enjoy your social life and you can be in great shape and not sacrifice anything. So that app has all the workouts on it. My workouts are short. Some of them are in plain clothes you do right at your desk. It's about reframing what people think it means to be healthy or what it takes to be healthy. It doesn't take all that much. It's coming up with a few foods you can count on. It's short workouts and just standing and walking more. And then if you feel like, okay, you get going, it does become addictive, and you might be careful. You might just find yourself in a competition.
Exactly.
But we got to start somewhere that feels good and is doable. And that's what the app is all about.
All right, so I got two more questions for you. One
Sure.
is over 50 strength training. What's your comments
Huge.
on that?
Yeah. So, but sometimes what's being put out there makes it seem like it's more than it needs to be. You just
Right.
need to work with some weights, that are heavy. A heavy weight. What's heavy? It's 10 repetitions. And on the 9th or 10th repetition, it gets a little dicey for your form. That's it. And we want to be doing that 3 to 4 times a week. Now, with my people, we're doing short workouts and we're doing functional training, not normal hypertrophy training, right? Which is kind of what you're doing right now. With that, you can use some weights every single day. And sometimes you're using body weight. It's all resistance. We want to be using resistance to build lean muscle because we are trying to avoid two things. One, sarcopenia, which is muscle loss, and osteopenia, which is bone loss. And muscles pulling against your bones make your bones strong. So we need both of these things. And they need to be throughout the week. But don't think it has to be a big deal. I have people keep weights next to their desk and do a 5-minute routine from my app at lunch, and whatever will keep you consistent. That's all it has to be. You know what I mean? And then you can expand from there.
Yeah, because I saw there was a 70-year-old lady and a 70-year-old man on Instagram, and they were talking about making sure that they keep lifting weights and working out, because if they fall or they have an issue, they don't want to break a hip. And I think I'm starting to see more of that because I live in here in Tampa. So, I'm in raising and prune country. I'm just joking, everybody. Don't cancel me. We got all the old people here. And there's a lot of communities now that I'm seeing that have weight training programs, or the senior citizens are all getting out and doing things and lifting weights because they realize now just sitting around playing bridge is not going to get it.
No. And you know what else is not going to get it done? 10,000 steps a day. This is be up, be active, take your walks, but the walks are not going to do it. Do not shave 10 minutes off your walk and do strength training at home, which is one of my videos or anybody's, but that is going to do it for you. Your longevity is directly tied to thigh muscle mass. They can see it. People who have more thigh muscle mass live longer and better quality. Wow. It's not just about living long, it's quality of life. So use your muscles.
Did not know that. I like that. All right. Yeah. So my biggest Achilles heel, naturally, is stretching. And when I was younger and I did martial arts, but then again, I was doing combatives, I stretched all the time. Why is it once we get older, it's the thing we don't want to do?
Yeah. Well, I got some great news for you. Stretching has really evolved, the science of stretching over time. And quite frankly, I never have people stretched. I do workouts that are inherently stretch oriented. So if you're doing some things with some Pilates or yoga moves in it, just a little bit, your body will inherently allow these
Oh,
muscles to lengthen in a way that will protect your joints and let them move well. And quite frankly, people get more injured from static stretching than like exercising. They hold a stretch too deep and they think they have to be like, "Ah!" And if you're feeling it like that, it's too much. And when I have people stretch, it's really about, it's always moving. Move into the stretch, move out of the stretch, and connect it with your breath. Inhale and exhale. That's how you effectively get your body to release, not just like jamming yourself into a position and holding it there. The reason people don't do it is because it's boring and it hurts. Like if it's involved in your workout and you're learning a few moves that lengthen your hamstrings, that release, then you'll see like you don't need a separate stretch session
right.
really, and you'll feel great.
Well, I know I'm not a contortionist because I tried yoga 2 years ago, and I was that was painful. And the thing is,
Yeah.
how do you help people that have had chronic injuries, like they've had knee surgery or they've had some shoulder surgery, and they still want to get in shape? Because I found a lot of my peers, military guys that got hurt in combat or over the years, and they use
Yeah.
that as their excuse not to work out or out of shape because my knees are bad. Well, I've had 2 knee surgeries
One
too.
word. Yeah. Isometrics. So if you're working with PT, like anybody, you could have the worst knees ever. You can still do a posterior squat. That's where your rear end's going back. Your knees are staying in the same position. You can take your arms up overhead and you can hold that and just hold. You're strengthening every muscle in your body and your heart rate's coming up like crazy. You can do a plank. You can do all sorts of things and just hold. Hold for 30 seconds, rest, do it again. You build up to a minute, build up to 2 minutes in these positions. But isometrics, you can strengthen every single muscle in your body and get a cardio benefit just holding strategic positions. It's pretty cool. So, and then,
Yeah.
just a few minutes a day, and then all of a sudden you're moving again, and then you're being able to move in and out of these positions. But it's starting with isometrics.
I'm not gonna lie. I do planks, and I did them a couple years back. I started doing them again now, and I will tell you, it's like if I do like 6 sets of planks and I hold it for 20 seconds, then I'm trying to move it to 30 or 40. Hey, when I get up, hold on. When I peel myself off the floor and try to
Right.
stand, it's a workout. So great advice. So with that said, we're getting close to the end here. What advice do you have for, and it's twofold question. What advice do you have for the younger generation? Because they're dealing with a lot of mental health issues these days, but I think a lot of it's driven through social media. I'm so sick of everybody blaming COVID for inherent problems that we've already had in our society. Because I told my daughter one day when she was talking about body positivity, I said, well, look, we had a problem in the 80s with Vogue magazine, Glamour. They said you had to be twiggy skinny to be a model, so everybody would starve themselves and a bunch of other things. And then I look now on Instagram, it's like they're going to get these young girls are being forced to go get all this cosmetic work when literally they could go to the gym and just work out and do that exercise towards whatever to enhance it. But sadly, we're dealing with a situation in fitness where fitness is the secondary to compared to going to get the cosmetic surgery for young girls. What
Yeah,
advice do you have for young girls?
the externals. Well, they have it exponentially harder. And I remember, I was part of that generation that, the Vogue magazine and the whatever. And I remember the statistic I read in my 20s when I was feeling so bad about myself, even though I was doing all this. And that was the compare game even then, right, with
Right.
magazines. And there was something like 85% of women, when they pick up one of those magazines, feel worse about themselves after reading it than they did
Yes.
before. Well, now imagine you have that magazine in your hand all the time, all day, scrolling, scrolling,
Woo!
scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. It's
Preach.
worse for these girls. So what I did, I have about 2,000 young women between 18 and 23 reach out to me for personal help a month. And this has been going on for 2 years since I started TikTok. It's
Congratulations.
2,000. Well, I don't have anything to offer. I do one-on-one coaching programs, or I have a group coaching program, but like not all of them are able to invest in themselves. I try to make it as affordable, but in that, so I just created a college program that launched literally on Wednesday. or I call
I
it
saw
Teen
that.
Life University.
I saw
I
that.
literally, for women 18 to 23, it's a community, and to help give them some tools and strategies to get away from diet culture, to start developing a really positive relationship with food and with exercise and with themselves, and like just be in a bubble of people who get it and who want to get it and who are trying to spend their energy on things that matter in life and not on criticizing themselves or knocking themselves down. And it's all about building these young women up with tools and strategies to help them feel their best so they can do their best. And I'm really excited about that. That was one of the hardest times in my life in my 20s to really get my head in gear. And, you know, it's like I'm on a personal mission to help that demographic, because I don't want anyone to waste the time that I wasted with just like secret self-loathing or secret criticism that was just debilitating in some ways. Nobody would know it from the outside, but that's how I felt on the inside, and it was terrible.
Yeah, no, and you're right. That's the Edgar Allan Poe thing, is that we all got some scars on the inside that no one sees on the outside. And as I always tell my daughters, just because somebody lives in a nice neighborhood and they have a beautiful house, you don't know what kind of furniture is in the house. You don't know what's happening inside the house. So sometimes things on the outside aren't always good on the inside. So I appreciate you sharing that. And then lastly, what advice do you give people that would like to get in touch with you, to talk about, you know, getting their fitness journey on? I'll put your website up real quick, but what's your pitch on how people can get with you?
Yeah, the best thing to do is actually to go to TikTok or Instagram, and there's a link in the bio, and like click to book a call with my team, and they'll like go through stuff, and they will give help right on the call, see if you're right for one of my programs, or based on, well, we'll help you with your goals. And then right then and there, be able to see, well, Andrea has this that might be able to help you, or that, or whatever, and give you some recommendations. Like you'll never meet anybody that cares as much as I do. I like really care. If somebody reaches out to me, I find some way or something I have that can help you. And I really have a deep belief that, you know, world-class fitness is not just for the privileged, and my stuff is for all budgets. And I am adamant about that. Like, so, you know, come find me on social media, book the call, don't be afraid. And like, you know, let's see what we have to help.
Oh, hey, great guys. And Andrea, I can't say how blessed I am to have you on Martin Luther King Day, just coming in here and taking the time off to come out and talk to me and keep it rolling. It's a big deal. Guys, if you get a chance, get out there, get on Instagram, follow her on TikTok, and boost that TikTok and Instagram up. and with that being said, thank you again. That's Bugs. I'll keep it rolling. I'll see you guys next show. Bye.